Okay, so I have to ask, because you worked with them, Kevin Smith. What's your favorite memories? Personal, professional? You did a lot of stuff with him. You did some conventions and everything, right?
Yeah. Kevin was just beautiful. I mean, he was just such a great guy. I worked with him more than anyone when I first joined the show. And I just have to say, bless Kevin, because he completely, I mean, I could have been having a meltdown if it wasn't for him, because it was trial by fire when I first got there. I get off the plane. I literally got there about 5 a.m. and they picked me up and took me straight to fight choreography lessons. I mean, there was just no downtime, and I was learning to fight. It was a brand new costume, so they were constantly having to work on the costume because it was falling apart. I had to do my first on-screen kiss. I had to that's the helicopter.
Your car's here.
Exactly. I'll be there in a minute. Yeah. But anyway, I mean, it was a crazy, crazy week when I first started. Mm-hmm. And Kevin was just, first of all, such a gentleman. But second of all, I mean, he's hilarious. He was the funniest guy. He was such a great presence because he was just always joking, but in that really funny, dry New Zealand humor. Mm-hmm. So it's they can kind of say anything, and it's funny, but they can get away with saying things that you just normally can't get away with saying. So he was just so funny, and he would just constantly make me comfortable by, talking about his wife or his kids, or telling me stories from on set, or stories from other work, other shows he'd been doing, or some of his stage work. And I mean,
Did you find they were inquisitive about you?
Yeah.
As an American actor coming over there to act,
yeah.
Did they asked you a lot of questions?
Yeah, not just about work, but also just about the States in general.
Yeah.
And I mean, New Zealand, unlike most Americans, New Zealanders travel like crazy. I mean, it's a known fact that if you are born in New Zealand, you're going to take a couple of years to travel, before you settle down.
Wow. So
everybody was constantly asking not only where I'm from, but where all have I been, and what would I recommend, and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Going back to Kevin, I don't know if I have a particular favorite moment. I mean, the best part about Kevin is he played this big, brusque kind of guy, this god, of course, and I mean, just the moments of him going from God to, just regular human Kevin was just hilarious, because the end of the scene would happen, and, I mean, just the littlest things from, can I have a Kleenex to, I mean, just something that small, but
right.
Be able to make it funny in a way, because, here's the God asking for a Kleenex, things like that.
I bet his bloopers were great, when he actually messed up.
Sure. I'm sure.
I've only seen a couple of them, but yeah.
He was just endearing. He was so endearing, and especially when you weren't even on set, but you're just everybody's waiting around for for when they call you to set. He was just such a great storyteller, and especially if any of his closer friends were on set, if Michael was on set or something like that. I mean, the two of them together were just a riot. And and I was lucky, because not only did I get to work with him on set, but I don't know if you call it a concert, but at one of the conventions, he and I were on stage together singing, and that's one of my favorite moments. It was just.
Cool.
It was first of all, it was very impromptu. And, second of all, it was just the sweetest thing. It was just such a great moment to happen. And I, like everybody, I was absolutely shocked to hear about his passing. And it's hard to put into words, because he was just such a special person. And it's hard when you lose anybody, but he just had such a sense of mirth and I just know that he was on the cusp of amazing things.
Absolutely.
And that's when it really just, kind of hits you. I mean, he was such a devoted father, such a devoted husband. And then to know that he had worked so hard for so many years, and he was right on the cusp of that success that he so deserved. And that was heartbreaking on just a whole other level.
I bet.
But, I mean, like everybody else, you have those wonderful memories that you can hold on to.
What did you like about New Zealand outside of the show? Just being there?
I love the people, and I've probably said this before, I feel like I tell everybody this, but I think it's just such a beautiful way to describe it. Before I went, I had been told that New Zealand was God's blueprint for Earth, meaning that within those, small islands, theoretically that's where he tried out everything. Because on that, it's such a small amount of space, but you have Alps and glaciers and black sand beaches and white sand beaches and sand dunes and, just everything. And, I mean, I'm someone who loves the outdoors. And to make it even better, there's nothing there that's harmful. Like, there's not any poisonous spiders or snakes or anything that's going to creep you out. So, creep you out, maybe not the appropriate phrase. But yeah, nothing that's, that's scary out there. So, I mean, not only do you have the wilderness, but it's a wilderness that's really friendly,
Wow.
So that was amazing. And just the people were great. I mean, I had a lot of my family that came down and visited me when I was on set, and a few friends that came down, and everyone, universally, everybody was just like, the people here are so nice. And it is. I mean, it's a welcoming community. Like, this is great. When I first arrived, they gave me like a tourist guide kind of a thing.
Right.
And if you open up the tourist guide to New Zealand, and I don't know if it's still this way, but I swear to you, what it said at the time was, if you're low on funds, try hitchhiking. What? Are you kidding me? Like, not only does somebody say that, but it's actually a government-sponsored saying. like they're out there endorsing this. I thought that was amazing. But it goes to show you, I mean, that's the kind of culture. I mean, it's just a very friendly, open, it's just a really amazing culture that I feel so lucky that I was able to experience.
Wow. Would you want to go back?
Tomorrow. If I had the chance, I would go tomorrow. It's amazing. And not just because it was so great, but there are tons of things I didn't get to see that I would love to, just go back and experience. Like, I'd never been to the South Island, and, there's just all kinds of experiences I would still love to have there.